think I've had it long enough now to do a thorough review, so I'm going to review the Panasonic G7. Bit of a bargain brag first. I bought this camera body only off display for £199, £199. The lens had been stolen off display and the sensor had been all naked for a little while, so I got a really good discount. There wasn't a box or anything like that, but I checked it all out before buying it, and I already had the Micro Four Thirds lenses from my Olympus system, so it was just a no-brainer really. I thought I'll give the Panasonic system a try. I'm completely convinced that I love Olympus, but for £199 as a backup body, it was worth a punt. That purchase completely changed what system I use now. I'm completely team Panasonic, though I still have my Olympus Pen F and it's lovely, but in terms of usability and the features that I need in my workflow, this £199 purchase completely changed my opinion. So I'm going to go through all my favourite things about it now. First of all, for the price point, I mean, it retails I think around £500 new with a lens, so still it's a very affordable camera. You have a lot of pro features. You have the mic input, so for vlogging like this, it's great. The grip is fantastic. Given that the camera is so incredibly light, the grip really feels solid in your hand and you don't feel like you're going to lose it. I often keep this camera just in my hand rather than on any kind of strap because it is so easy to hold. You forget you have it. And of course the flippy screen. You all know I'm a fan of the flippy screen, and it's very handy for a multitude of situations, not least like this because of vlogging or taking selfies or framing shots from different angles. I use it all the time. Very handy. Now this isn't just a G7 thing. The Panasonic systems in general have some fantastic features that have really helped win me over to the system. One of those is the quick menu. All you have to do is press the button and then you've got everything that you need straight away. You have your shooting mode, flash options, video options, your focus modes, aperture, shutter speed, white balance, the lot. And because it is a touch screen, you can just go straight into what you need to change quickly and you're not rooting through the menus. Great idea. Which leads me on to this cool dial at the top. This is a lifesaver. When I was shooting the Skunk and Nancy photographs this weekend, this is great for gig photography by the way, you can smuggle it in, the lenses are very small. I had a 70 to 200 equivalent and you know the bouncers weren't giving me evils because it didn't look like a big scary camera. That's another story. Anyway, so when I was there, you have your single shot, you have your multi-shot, straight away, bang, one dial, done. I set that to medium and just took relatively slow but continuous shots, kind of hitting and wishing, and it turned out very well. Also great in wedding scenarios when you go into the bit where they throw confetti, or if you want to get the first kiss down, just turn to that dial with one click and you know that you've got continual burst mode. Awesome. Next is a progression from that where you have your 4K shooting. I used this at the weekend to take some photographs of a girl who had ribbon spinny things. I turned to that mode with one dial twist, pressed record once, she did the business, pressed record when it was over, and then I went through the frames and picked my favourite ones. Really simple, really foolproof, and an incredible feature that is literally right at your fingertip. Same again with the bracketing, that's also on here. With the bracketing, if you ever want to shoot HDR quickly, I did this at a sunset moment where I wanted to try and get everything in focus and exposed correctly. Just turn the dial and you're done. So all of these things are they're used intermittently, but the idea that you can access them so quickly really is a lifesaver. There's no rooting through menus or anything. You feel with the Panasonic system that anything that you want to do and achieve, you can straight away. It really doesn't get in your way, and I adore that. Leading on from that as well, the customization of the G7 and all of the Panasonic cameras in general is superb. The way I have it set up is I have function 5, which is here, to toggle between automatically using my eye or not. So when I'm using it for photographs, I always want it to go straight to my eye and then I'll see through the viewfinder. But when I'm using it for video, I sometimes just waft my hand in front of the sensor and the screen goes off and it annoys me. I press that function button and I can choose it instantly. Another thing that I use all the time is the quick access to the focus modes. You have manual focus, continual autofocus, and sort of half press to focus, the usual ones that you would use. This is so fast to change between them. You don't even have to move your hand very far either. It's great. And in real life scenarios, when I was shooting the gig photography, I put it into the middle setting without even looking. I knew that I was on continual autofocus and the camera would do the work for me. I've used the G7 now as a travel camera. I've used it for live photography, lifestyle photography, event photography. It's great. Sometimes I have to remind myself how cheap this is given the results that I get out of it. It doesn't seem to make sense to me, but I'm not going to question it. The downsides of this, particularly now that I have the GH5 as my main camera and my G7 has moved down the line to my second camera, is it isn't weather sealed. The G7 isn't weather sealed, and that's a shame because it's light enough to take out and go on walks with, which I have done in the past, but if it gets a little bit rainy out, it's a matter of sticking it in a carrier bag and then you can't take your photographs, which is a shame. While it is very light, it does feel ever so slightly plasticky, and also very much compared to the Pen F, which is also very, very well built. Personally, I think, as long as I'm not throwing it around, it'll be absolutely fine. I've took it into a crowd with me when I've been doing the gig photography. I've took it up mountains, I've took it up Angel's Landing. It's gone places, this little guy, in such a small time. So that's about it. I love the Panasonic G7 and Panasonic systems in general. You really don't know what you're missing until you see what Panasonic do with the menus and see how easy and intuitive it is. I'm such a convert, as you can probably tell, though I'm still going to be supporting Olympus because I do love the Olympus filters and build quality and everything. And the way that you can interchange between your Panasonic bodies and your Olympus bodies is one of the reasons I came to Micro Four Thirds in the first place. So I'm still a fan of both, still eyeing up the M1 Mark II. I'm very broke and I really shouldn't do that. And yes, so that's my delightful review. Lots and lots of positive things. And if you're looking for a vlogging camera or even an all-round camera, because look, the stills are great. People think Panasonic is all about the video, and it is very, very good at the video. But you can get amazing stills out of them as well. So for an all-round camera that's good value that you can take out with you, that has your flippy screen for vlogging, for instance, I really don't know if there's a better camera on the market. There, I've said it. Value for money, the G7 is phenomenal. Yes, I'll stop fangirling now, I promise.